Good morning, everybody. My name is Nee, and I'm a person in recovery. About 16 years ago, I gained admission into the university to study mathematics. I had the full support of my family. I was one of those students that teachers always said had a bright future, and I loved to prove them right. About 10 years ago, I realized that school had lost its place as the top priority in my life. I had found a new passion. I came to realize I had drifted into a totally different life from what I had planned, a dangerous life. I found drugs. I found alcohol, and alcohol made it easier for me to talk to girls. I found cannabis, and cannabis made it easier for me to eat and sleep. I found crack cocaine, and cocaine made me the life of the party for a few years. About 7 years ago, I came to the realization that I was ruining my life. The drugs had taken more from me than what they had given, and I felt like dying. My family began to hide me from family gatherings. I missed weddings. I almost missed my older brother's wedding. It got to a point where I couldn't even trust my own eyes and ears because I started to see and hear things that were not there. I had quit the university after trying to redo my final year over and over again. The friends I grew up with, they either pitied me or they started getting afraid of me. I remember this one time I was in a police cell and I was watching my mom crying from behind the bars. I remember how much it broke my heart to see my mom like that. A few days before that, the police had stormed my then ex-girlfriend's house and rounded up everybody. Unfortunately for me, I looked exactly like the kind of person that they were looking for. So they took me and dumped me in a police cell. I remember they threatened to run drug tests on us, and I was afraid of the drug test because I had a lot of drugs in my blood, and I knew if they did run that test, I would end up getting sentenced to a lot of years in prison. I remember wondering from behind the bars if this is where my life would end up and where exactly my life was going. It took a long time for me to actually understand what was happening in my life, but I knew I needed help at some point. I was introduced to a rehab facility, and that was when I realized I had actually found the help. I found people who had overcome their own addictions, and they were ready to help me overcome mine. Today, I'm happy to say that it's been a little over 5 years since I used any drug at all. Today, I'm standing before you in a different country, telling my story in the hopes that it saves somebody. Today, with the help of the good people from the Serene Haven Rehabilitation Center, I'm able to inspire people to overcome their addictions. I want to take a few moments to show you exactly what my life looked like. I brought pictures. This is me 16 years ago when I was innocent and didn't know anything about drugs. That's me with the afro. This is me a few days after I had been admitted into the university. This is me discovering drugs, the cannabis, the alcohol, the cigarettes, and all those other drugs that I cannot show here. This is when the drugs started to take a toll on me. That's the wedding I almost missed. Those are my brothers on either side of me. This is when I started to realize I had a problem and I really needed some help. I was starting to look like the street drug addicts that everybody warned me not to become. This picture was taken by a friend who had found me in the streets and taken me to her house to get me to shower and feed me because I wasn't eating well. This is me when I had found recovery. I finally graduated from the university and got a few certificates to my name. I was finally invited to family weddings. I went on to start reaching out to other people who needed help. with my colleague here. We visited churches, communities, schools, anywhere anybody would have us. We found it necessary to share our story, to share our blessing. Along this journey, we met the good people of Serene Haven, and we are happy, we are fortunate, we are blessed to be brought here by them from a totally different country. Those are videos and pictures of Serene Haven. I want to say a little about my two colleagues here. I met my brother Sanke in that same rehab in Ghana where I found my recovery. He was also there trying to overcome his addiction. We successfully went through the process, finally overcame our addiction. A few years after that, Sanke went on to manage that rehab, and he has made it one of the best rehabs in Ghana, to the glory of God. Mr. Brown met Sanke in that same rehab while he was seeking for help to overcome his addiction. He went through the process, overcame his addiction, moved back to Abuja, and created the Serene Haven for people like us to find more help.